Hey, what's up everybody? And in today's video, we're going to be answering one of the most common questions I get on both my YouTube videos and my live streams, and that is, who are the easiest and hardest characters to use in Street Fighter 6 Season 3? Now, whenever we're doing these kind of things, there's always going to be some personal bias involved, and I wanted to get the most fair opinion possible. So I'm not just doing this by myself. I actually called up a good friend of mine, ft.xNightMareEffect. You guys might know him from YouTube. Check him out. He's got some great content. So we got in a call and we talked about who are the easiest and hardest characters in this game, and we made a tier list, which you guys are going to see right now in the video. But before we get to that tier list, don't forget, if you guys want to support us, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out a lot, and it's super easy for you to do. So with that over with, let's get right into the video. Alright dude, what's up?
Oh, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I hope you're doing good too. So let's get right into this. Let's talk about easiest characters and hardest characters, Street Fighter 6 Season 3. There's been some changes. I know a lot of people didn't really think the Season 3 changes were big, but there's been some tournaments going on. Some previous low tiers are winning. I think there's actually been quite a shift in the character strength and also overall difficulty compared to the previous season.
Yes, sir.
All right, so what I did, I made my quick preliminary list. So I made this on the train ride home after work, and this is just me shooting from the hip. I didn't put much thought into this. This is my quick difficulty tier list. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to change things. It's just my quick initial impression. Let's go through this and let's change. Let's figure out some characters. See where Nightmare disagrees with me or where I disagree with him. So this is going to change a bit. So we have 4 tiers.
Okay.
I got my in her own tier as my. If you have any experience playing fighting games and you're not seeing some kind of success with this character, I don't know. I think there might be a problem going on there.
In my opinion, is definitely in her own tier list for sure, because EX fan, regular fan, more fans, and more fans. Very good buttons, motion character, so I feel like most players from a newer standpoint, they tend to struggle with charge characters from those who I've recently ran across, but Mai is definitely in her own list just because of the fan, hands down.
Yeah, I agree. And I think also not just because we're a fan, I think something really important with this, I think Mai, whether you're playing classic Mai or modern Mai, both versions of this character are really good. And depending how you ask, some people might even say modern Mai is not only easier but better than classic Mai. Like, she definitely has some things going for her. So this character, no matter what, yeah, no matter what you're doing, she's good. And also just her game plan is really easy to understand. And she just plays Street Fighter 6 really well. There's very little times when you're thinking, like, what should I be doing with this character? It's usually pretty obvious.
Do we know which buttons or which normals that she actually lose out on for modern controls?
I'm pretty sure she loses standing medium kick in modern, but it's not really that important because she still has standing medium punch, and it basically does the same stuff as standing medium kick, so that's it. And I think there's also one more. I think she might also lose crouching hard punch, but again, like, how often do you see my players using crouching hard punch?
I feel like I've seen most use it off a drive rush, but even with that, I think it only becomes like +1 or 0 at best. So in my opinion, it's not really worth it. It's way better buttons that you could use.
Yeah, I think it's +1 off the top of my head, but it's used for some kind of niche punishes. But again, you don't really need it because just the things you gain from modern, like the level, like the instant level 2s and everything, just kind of instant level 1s just brings this character somewhere else. So let's actually go to the easy tier. So I put Bison, Akuma, Lily, and Honda. What do you think about that?
Right off the dump, I completely agree with this. And I'm going to actually go from left to right and talk about each character just to make sure that the player know exactly why I agree with this. So Bison is a character that you can't go wrong with. He has skip neutral specials, very strong buttons, very far-reaching buttons. He has buttons that allow him to become plus, moving and abusing players that enjoy pressing buttons. So the character definitely comes with the full package of bullying, controlling the space, motion, and real easy damage. Like, execution on his combos is not difficult, and I'm probably saying this from a biased point of view because me and you, we know what we're doing. So I feel like a new player should also understand quick after playing with him for a good amount of time. They would see exactly what we're talking about. But Bison being an easy, absolutely.
Yeah, I think with Bison though, one thing, I think he kind of has like a little bit of like a peak effect where he's actually a little bit tricky at really beginner levels because he doesn't have like a DP, he doesn't have a reversal. So completely new players don't have a quick get out of jail for free card. And then for like mid-level players, so like upper, intermediate, lower, advanced, he's really easy because if you can do basic combos, this guy's his buttons are just ridiculous and his damage output is insane. And then once you get to like super duper duper like top 8 consistent top 8 tournament player, I think he gets a little bit hard to play again because of the no reversals and the no anti-airs. But then his damage and his buttons kind of make up for that. But I think he's like not as easy in top 8 kind of tournaments as like someone like Mai.
For sure. And with that being said, his main gripe would definitely be non-consistent anti-airs because it's easy for crouching fears to get stuffed. Most players probably wouldn't be comfortable with going air to air. And the more you go high up on the, not tier list, but the level of competitive, Bison becomes the type of character that can either pick away at your opponent by just bullying them with scissor kick, or being highly annoying and neutral by just playing patient because his buttons once again are very strong.
All right, cool. So I think I agree with that. So let's move on past Bison. I think everyone knows this character is pretty easy. Let's talk about Akuma. Standing hard punch.
Yes, the Shoto special. I feel like all Shotos definitely have a very strong standing fierce, but Akuma, I'm going to agree with this mainly because he has an option for just about any situation and his matchup spread isn't bad. Now, his only downside is definitely going to be his health pool, but to make up for that, he definitely has all options. Very good walk speed, which got nerfed, but still in all, it didn't change too much about the character. Very strong fireball game, probably one of the best alongside Guile, but slow fireball, fast fireball, multi-hit fireballs. He could definitely be dangerous at anywhere on the map. Yet along with Demon Flip. Consistent anti-air if you don't feel comfortable with DP. His crouching fierce is strong, is reliable. Low forward drive rush, which is a very strong staple in Street Fighter 6. Having that definitely puts you in the upper echelon of characters.
Also, corner damage. He touches you one time, he sneezes on you in the corner, you're done. So
yeah,
he needs less exchanges in order to win. Like, he has low health, but he does more average damage in the corner than most characters. So I think he just gets one opening and he wins. Although I will say, the low health, I think for really good players, it doesn't make him difficult to play. Matter. It just makes his risk reward a little bit skewed. It doesn't really affect the overall difficulty. But for newer players or like more beginners, then I think it actually does get harder because they are losing faster. And lower level players generally don't really have any concept of risk reward. So I think if you're a low level player watching this, you might be thinking Akuma's easy, but yeah, he's easy.
Yeah, and not taking shots at nobody because, you know, we all have our own way of growing. We all learn at different pace, but I feel like most new players, they tend to kill themselves a lot because, you know, in some situations they kind of like just meet in the middle and just start throwing hands a lot. And Akuma, because his health isn't on par with every other character, if you get in that exchange and you're not winning, then of course you are at a disadvantage because of your health being like that. But besides that, I agree with him being an easy. Like, he's
you don't have to, dude, you don't have to space his dive kick. You just do it. You're like -1 at worst. 0 actually.
And we Demon Flip, yeah, demon option. And he's actually plus on all of them except the dive kick, right? Because
no, the dive kick he's usually okay, you have to like do the worst spacing in the world for it to be like 0 on block. Otherwise it's almost always plus. Yeah. It's a good move.
And they let Capcom tell it they nerfed his Demon Flip that actually side switches and then sweeps to the other side. They added land and recovery, I think 2 patches ago. Don't quote me on that, but besides that, I mean, Akuma is still Akuma. Like, you can still force a mix from anywhere on the map, knock him down. Demon option, you can either go empty low, overhead with the palm. If the palm gets blocked, you're plus. Yeah, this character is the epitome of aggravate your opponent and do what you want. Oh wait, let's not forget about the command grab.
Yeah, it's there. It's always an option. So one more thing for your opponent to think about. But yeah, Akuma's easy. So let's keep on going. Let's talk about Lily and Honda. So I put Lily and Honda here because for both these characters, I think most people kind of consider Lily, like modern Lily, to be better than classic Lily just because her game plan is so straightforward. It's really easy to know what to do with this character. She has some tricky things, but for the most part, you're pushing crouching hard punch, back hard punch, Condor Spire, OD Condor Spire. And then you either do like lights or you command grab them. So I think her game plan is incredibly easy to understand. Some matchups are really hard for her, but I'm not really factoring that in too much into this. I'm just saying like how hard or easy it is to use this character effectively. And I think she has I think her game plan is so easy that she belongs in this tier.
Hands down, I'm not even going to argue nothing you said. You pretty much took the words right out of my mouth. This character is the definition of pick somebody up, have fun, aggravate your opponent, not hard to play. Modern controls makes the character even more scary if we think about it, because now with her skipping neutral, crouching hard punch, wind stocks, condo spiral, now if you do anything that's going to get you punished, I have the press of one button to just make you regret anything that you're thinking about doing. So hands down.
Yep. And then for me, Honda, pretty much the same thing. He doesn't really have difficult combos. You're basically holding down back most of the round until you get to like super high level. And then even once you're at high level, like he's pretty like cut and dry. Like you're going to be using the same couple of tools. Standing hard punch is really strong. Standing medium punch is really strong. I mean, it's -2, but the spacing makes it essentially 0. Right. He just has such a simple game plan. I know there are some matchups that are really difficult for this character, like Guile and a couple of other zoners, but in terms of like executing his game plan and doing technical things, he's more on the simple side. So I just think he's easy to understand and easy to do his combos with. So that's why I put him in the easy tier.
I agree with you also. Honda is what I like to call a party character. So if you take him serious, if you take him just to pull out a character and just have fun, he fits both categories. Hands, headbutts, butt slams is party character. So easy, I agree also.
All right, cool. So let's move away from the easy tier and, let's go into the normal tier. This is the one where I'm the least confident in with my initial kind of feelings, the normal tier, because I feel that I have too many characters in here. But I really try to think about this from the perspective of like a complete beginner to the game all the way to like an advanced high level player. So let's start off with one. Let's start with the worst Shoto, Ken, which actually might be kind of unironically true now in season 3. He might actually be the worst. He's still a really good character, but I think Ken, the thing that's tricky about Ken is compared to some of the other Shotos like Akuma, Ryu, Luke, Ken actually has some hard combos.
Absolutely.
Doing like the medium punch target combo in the corner into Jinrai, for a new player, that timing is really, really hard. And some of his other pickups, like being able to consistently pick up with like punish counter standing heavy kick into drive rush punch, run, Tatsu, or even like his optimal combos mid-screen and in the corner with run stop stuff. Even pros drop the run stop stuff sometimes. Right. So just for that alone, I can't say he's easy, because this character is one of the few characters in this game that actually does require some higher degree of execution.
Absolutely. I think my thoughts on Ken, outside of his combos, pretty much like you said with the run stop, the Jinrai delays, the Jinrai loops, Ken can definitely be challenging to a lot of new players. Now, of course, the general game plan, strong fireball, very good buttons. I could see him fitting in normal. Like, I feel like if a new player pick him up, you won't have to do the run stops, the high execution, just to get dubs under your belt until you feel comfortable with the character, and now you can start doing that higher execution stuff to increase your game plan. So with him being in normal, I feel like Ken has two sides. You could pick him up like the traditional Shoto that he is and do work, but he has that tricky side also. So once you get comfortable, now you could really play Ken and optimize him how he should be played.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And then I guess my only other thing with Ken is that I think he's kind of like the opposite of Bison, where I think he's actually kind of hard for new players and intermediate players, but then once you get to like the advanced players who have really good execution, he gets much easier because those people don't struggle with that kind of stuff. It's pretty easy in Street Fighter 6. So I think he's kind of like the inverse of Bison, where he starts really hard and then gets really easy. But Bison starts really easy and then gets kind of harder as you go.
Exactly. Now, one thing to say, all right, so for every player that's out there that's watching this video right now and you're thinking about playing Ken and the run stop is actually messing with you, you can map if you're playing on pad, even if you plan on hitbox or any type of control that you feel comfortable with, you can map run to one button. So instead of pressing both, you can map it and it actually becomes way easier. I told somebody that like a while ago and they eyes open. They were like, bro.
It's much easier because you never have to worry about accidentally hitting one button before the other. You just map it to a thing, and you can even kind of mash it out, and you'll get like the run come out right on frame 1. So if you're having trouble with that, yeah, like Nightmare said, map run to a button. It'll change your world.
Exactly.
And you'll go from being the worst Shoto to this not the worst Shoto anymore.
Yep. I got run stop combos now.
Nice. That's a good tip. Ryu, I kind of feel is in the same category as Ken, just because with Ryu you have a resource to balance, which is going to be his Denjin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hoshigeki, when you get the power ups with all the Denjin stuff, you know, you have different frame data on it, so that's harder for newer and intermediate players to remember. Also, yeah, Ryu has a ton of different combo routes. His basic combo routes that do high damage are really easy to do and, you know, just work really well. But if you want to like maximize his damage off of every single pickup, he can be a little bit tricky. He has some unique combos. So that's why I kind of put him into normal. Also, his game plan isn't super simple. It's not really cut and dry as like when you should be doing Denjin charge or when you should spend it. Like, do you use it for your Hadoken? Do you use it for what do you call it, Denjin Hoshigeki, or do you save it for your level 2? It's a little bit tricky. So he's not super obvious as to where you're supposed to use his strong tools, and that's why I put him into the normal tier compared to someone like Akuma where you just do the same thing all the time.
Oh yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. And with him being next to Ken, it's yeah, I have nothing to say. It's spot on perfect for him being a normal.
All right, so then Juri, I put her here. I think Juri can be in the somewhat harder category because of her level 2 stuff. But aside from that, she's pretty easy, I think. She's just drive rush, standing medium punch, drive rush, overhead. I mean, she has some hard level 2 combos, but for the most part, she's easy. And modern Juri is incredibly easy in terms of execution. So I put her here. I could be wrong about this. This is one of the characters that I haven't actually put very much, almost zero time into Street Fighter 6. So I'm kind of just going off what I've heard from other players, but I don't think she's difficult. So I put her in normal.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. I'm also a player that has never touched Juri. I think my Juri is still a new challenger, but once again, just like you said, for those who are playing Juri, I feel like they be trying to downplay sometimes because you know that's the thing about us players, like we downplay our character. I feel like I would have put her towards hard, but then again, maybe that's just me not knowing. But drive rush being strong, forward advancement on her normals, standing medium kick being good, very very good fireball. I could see her being in normal. If she wasn't in normal, I wouldn't be against her being in hard also. But
yeah, I think because we only have like a my tier, then easy, normal, and hard. I have her here just because
right.
I think she's not as hard as the characters I have down here in the hard tier. I think these characters are harder at all levels. Meanwhile, Juri at low to intermediate is actually incredibly easy just because her default game plan is so powerful and so strong. But then once you get to high level, she kind of falls into the harder category because you have to do other stuff. Like you do have to do the level 2s and everything. But I think for the way we have this set up, I'm comfortable keeping her here. If you're comfortable with keeping her here, and you guys watching this video, let us know in the comments. Do you think Juri is a normal character, or should she be in easy, hard, or maybe even her own tier? What do you guys think?
I'm gonna be ready for the Juri comments on this one.
I'm scared already. We're gonna just take this character right off the screen. All right, let's go through these next ones pretty quick because I don't want to go too in depth. Marisa, I think she has a simple game plan. She has some really polarizing matchups, but just to use this character, I don't think you need to have exceptional execution. She does have some harder combos, but I've been playing online. You guys are just mashing medium punch. So this, you're lucky I didn't put her in easy tier.
That's they go-to. Now, okay, now I could speak a little bit on this because I actually used to play Marisa. I would agree with her being easy just because of the simple fact that her main tool that gets her most of her wins, like, and this is speaking on from a new player, right? Medium punch, target combo, charge on the Gladius, abuse your opponent for thinking they could press a button. So as far as easy, normal, and hard, I would have said easy. Now, of course, going up in the matchup spread and you starting to fight challenging matchups like Dhalsim, you know, characters that want to keep her out, she could become more challenging to play matchup wise. But difficulty wise and just playing the character outside the combos, yeah, you got in my opinion, she's pretty 1-2-3. Not Lily Honda 1-2-3, but she could probably be a little bit next to them.
All right, let's go like this then. Here's what I'm thinking. Normal, but has something polarizing. Maybe like a really bad matchup spread, or like Marisa, really crappy anti-airs.
Yes.
right? So that's going to
Yes.
be a little bit
Yes.
difficult for some people to deal with. So let's go like this: normal, but has polarizing, something polarizing. So I'm going to put here,
Yes.
and you know what? I might actually put Juri here too, because for newer players, intermediate players, level 2 stuff is hard.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that. All right, I'm comfortable with that. So what do you think about Elena? I'm gonna be honest. I never really
Ooh.
played Street Fighter 3. I don't care about this character. I haven't tried her at all, so I can't really talk about her in terms of difficulty.
All right. So I've actually been playing Elena since she dropped. Now I never played Third Strike, and I played a little bit of Street Fighter 4. She was in both of them, but Street Fighter 6, I'm really enjoying this character. Now, me personally, I know she's not a great character, but as far as difficulty, she's I would say she's easy because most of her strings are locked behind target combos and spinning scythe, which is a 3-hit special you have all the time in the world to just press forward punch, roll, and then get another follow up. So difficulty on her isn't bad, but I feel like her moves and the animation could be visually challenging because all her punches and kicks are locked behind kicks.
Hmm.
So it could be confusing at first seeing the buttons and trying to figure out what's that normal. But once you get past that, I would say she's easy.
All right, so let's put her in the easy tier. So I'm gonna put her here. I'm okay with that. If you're okay with that.
I feel like some people might be like, "Oh man, you downplaying just because the character's out. You don't know much." Like I could see it happening, but I'm like,
Well, like her combos aren't hard, right?
not really.
And like her
But
strong buttons in neutral, it's pretty obvious what she's going to be using most of the time. Like her game plan is pretty simple. You roll through fireballs.
yes,
You're using, what is it, forward hard punch? What's the one that where she kind of flips over with her leg?
forward hard punch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
forward hard punch.
and it's
You got like a million years to hit confirm that. So yeah, okay. Let's keep
exactly.
her in easy then. Let's keep her in easy. I'm okay with that. Let's go to this one. I think a lot of people are gonna have a lot of opinions on this. Zangief. Now that we
Ooh.
have this new tier, I had him in normal, but I'm gonna put him in normal, but has something polarizing.
Yeah, and Geef, I feel like he's always been that he could be played at high level, aka Snake Eyes. Shout out to him,
Hmm.
and Itabashi Zangief, the people who make him work. But in my opinion, I've always felt like Zangief was that I want to have fun character because he's mainly just grabs, right? But you
True. Yeah.
have to be a high level character to no, you have to be a high level player to really make him work. So command grab, running command grab for armor, normal but has something polarizing. Yeah,
Yeah, also he's got some really difficult matchups. Like JP is really bad for him. A couple of other ones, like there's that stuff. Then also some of his combos are really hard, even for good players. Like you see, even like Itabashi, he'll screw up like the hell stab to level 2, like down forward medium punch. So he does have some difficult execution things, like always being super consistent with like your 720s and everything. It can be
yep,
tricky. So I think the polarizing thing for him would be matchups. Then he's got some difficult combos, and of course, his reversals suck. So he's got some.
yeah,
He's a little bit difficult to use on defense. Offense is pretty brain dead with this guy. He got a little bit harder to run his offense now in season 3. It's not as easy as season 2 or 2.5, but I'm okay with him in normal, but something polarizing. He's got some hard stuff.
I agree. And shout outs to all the Geese players that know how to do instant air SPD. Every time I get hit with that, it looked like the combo is about to drop, but somehow, some way, the character manages to get off the ground, grab me, and I die. So shout outs to those who know how to do it because I can't. I never really played a 360, 720 character like that. So to see them do it, I'm like, shout outs to you. Y'all got it.
Yeah, I think good Geef player is actually pretty hyped to watch. I know some people can't stand this character. I think
Absolutely.
he's fun to watch. I enjoy good Geef players. Fighting against him is a different story, but watching him, I'll watch him all day.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Cammy. You know what? Now, you know what? Now that we got this polarizing thing, I kind of want to put her
Wait,
here
wait.
now.
What's polarizing about her?
So for all these characters up here, I'm gonna say like the my tier, the easy tier. They don't really have like hard things to do executionally. Like I think you could get any of these
Right.
characters up at like 1800 MR without having to learn optimal combos. Just if like you're a good fighting game player. Cammy
Right.
though, especially if you're a new player, dive kick alone is gonna require some practice.
Yes. Yes.
also doing some of her optimal stuff in this game just because the input reader kind of sucks, like crouching light punch, standing light kick into level 1 or level 3. Like when I'm streaming or when I'm doing YouTube videos for leverless controllers, one of the most common comments I get is, Chris, how do you do Cammy standing light kick into level 1 or 3? People find it hard. So
Yeah.
I think executionally, because a lot of her B&Bs rely on you doing standing light kick into either a single quarter circle forward or a double quarter circle forward, she's a little bit executionally difficult. But other than the dive kick and that, I don't think the rest of her is too difficult. She's a pretty cut and dry character. She's kind of like Bison, where you kind of know what you want to do most of the time. But she's
Exactly.
got some execution stuff.
Yeah, comparing her to Bison, Bison only upside over Cammy is the fact that Bison has safer forward advancing specials. Like you can actually, not saying you can't space with Cammy, but it's easier to do it with Bison
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah. Then also, like most of the characters above Cammy here, like almost all of these characters either have a fireball or an OD neutral skip. OD Cycle Crusher is
Yes.
not invulnerable, but OD neutral is like just a neutral skip. This guy can do whatever he wants anytime. Neutral skip, she can roll, neutral skip, fireball, all these characters. So I think she doesn't have that. She doesn't really have that. She does have quarter circle back, like the heavy spin knuckle, but I don't think
It
it's
got
on the
nerfed a few
same.
times, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's on the same tier as these guys' neutral skips. And then for beginner players, I think this character's hard, to be honest.
Yeah, I could see that because the dive kick itself can be challenging, and I feel like with new players, again, I'm not firing shots. They tend to want to get the first punch off and attack first without like sometimes being patient. So if they was to understand that mindset, I feel like Cammy would be very strong in the lower level, especially with the fact that
Uh,
back fears, good buttons, low forward,
I'm
which
saying I'm
reaches
thinking
50.
she's hard in the lower level because to do her even decent combos, like even like what is it, like standing, like anything drive rush, standing hard punch into charged DP into level 3, that's hard for beginners or even intermediate players. So I don't know. Cammy's a tricky one. What do you guys? I think comments are gonna grill me for this one, but I think she's a little bit tricky. Are you cool with keeping her here, or do you want to move her somewhere?
Oh yeah, dive kick and like you said, the stand light kick into level 1, level 3 could definitely be challenging
All right,
for sure.
let's keep it there then. All right, Luke. I think Luke's just the most normal character in the game.
Yeah, you. I agree with him being a normal, but now since we have something polarizing, perfect knuckles could be challenging for a new player,
True. All right.
hands down.
All right. All right. You're right. Especially even like the corner optimal one where you have to do the jumping knuckle.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That alone. Perfect knuckles alone. I'm gonna put him into something polarizing. Game plan is simple, but yeah. All right. Let's keep him there then. I'm good with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Jamie.
Mm, this character. I hear players say bad matchup, bad matchup, bad matchup. Jamie sucks. So it's like he sound like a struggle in the long run. And this is me going off of what the actual Jamie players are saying. Because Jamie's the main time I've only played Jamie was in the beta. So of
Mhm.
course he's went through nerfs, buffs, and I think more buffs. I actually wouldn't know how to give my opinion on him right now because I don't know too much about current Jamie.
All right. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm thinking about this character and all the things he has to do. We said Cammy has a dive kick and you have to learn that, so that's hard for beginners. And she's in normals has something polarizing. He has a dive kick, but he doesn't even have access to it all the time because he has to have a drink to get that.
Right.
Right? So that alone will put him here. But I'm also thinking for newer to intermediate players, learning how to manage his drinks and knowing when you should give up Oki for drink stocks or
Absolutely.
when you should go for Oki and like let the drinks go away is challenging. So for that, I'm gonna move him over to the hard section.
All the way in hard?
I'm gonna put him as hard.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I can agree because, like you said, knowing when to give up Oki, when to get the damage, analyzing the situation to understand that, okay, I should probably not worry about a drink, get the Oki, get the corner push, force the guess. Yeah. Jamie has a lot to think about.
Also, like
So
if I were like coaching an intermediate player and I'm coaching them Akuma, easiest coaching session of my life. How's your fireball game? How's your standing hard punch game? In terms
yep.
of like making a game plan. This guy, how are you gonna tell an intermediate player, like someone hard stuck like Diamond One, how to start working on their drink game, how to start working on their pressure game? There's so many different things you can go for in different situations. That's really hard to give an intermediate player a really easy, like, here's your game plan, just run it kind of thing, which most of these characters can do.
Now, even though we understand that Shotos have a very strong stand affairs, Jamie also has a strong stand affairs 5 frame startup multi hit. So,
I'm
but
gonna say what everyone's thinking though.
yeah,
That standing hard punch, as good as it is, I think it makes a lot of Jamie players worse.
I can agree. No shots again, because y'all be ready to attack. Um, that definitely,
Because
definitely,
this boy right here, Marisa, these two people, you're pushing one button at any block string at any time. I know
yeah.
you're pushing that standing hard punch during block strings. I know it's carrying you too.
And I still can't believe there's a Fierce that's 5 frames. Like that's basically on par with the startup of a standing light kick. Like
Pretty
that is
much, pretty
insane.
much. It's a good button. It's a good button.
Very good button.
All right, so standing hard punch is easy, but everything else about him is is hard.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep on going here. Guile. I think Guile's normal
Hmm.
difficulty. I think if you've never
Normal.
played a charge character before, he can seem difficult, but I don't know. It's Street Fighter 6. Like, I don't think he's that hard.
My only opinion is that somebody wanting to play Gao, I feel like the perfect boom would be their biggest concern. Now, of course, if you're not used to charge characters, that's its own subject also. But the perfect boom factor could probably also be challenging.
That depends
But
on what
besides that,
controller you're on. Because on leverless, what you can do, if you push, like, I don't know if I can just describe this properly, but if you're on like a lever, like a regular arcade stick, or if you're on a pad, you have to push forward plus punch within 3 frames of each other in order to get a perfect boom. But on leverless, you can just hit down forward and push jump plus punch at the same time. And as long as you're doing it with this kind of a motion with your finger, you're always going to get forward plus punch on the exact same frame. So you actually can't drop the perfect boom.
really,
Yeah,
is that like a SOCD
it's an SOCD
buffer?
thing because if you hold on, let me see if I can.
Oh,
Yeah, trust me on this one. If you hold down forward and you push jump plus punch, holding down forward and jump gives you a forward. And if you just do it like this, you get punch plus forward on the same frame, so you'll always get perfect boom. But not everybody's on leverless, so let's go like this. Normal, but has something
normal,
difficult.
yeah. Yes, he definitely has a execution side to him. But okay, so even if you can't get the perfect boom, Gao is a jack of all trades.
Yeah, so I think Guile has some hard combos, so we're gonna have to kind of put that there. I think charge for newer players is hard. So let's put him as normal, but as something polarizing. Like his game plan is really simple, but he does have some execution stuff.
Absolutely.
All right.
And um, boom loop combos. If you're trying to be stylish and saucy like Knuckle do, execution is definitely needed.
Mm-hmm. So let's leave him there. I think that's pretty okay. Blanka, I don't think Blanka's that hard,
Mm, it- yeah, yeah. Well,
mm, but he has the level 2
Blanca,
stuff.
yeah, Blanca can be a party character similar to Honda, but I don't think Blanca is at okay. I might be giving Blanca players a little bit too much respect with that one. Blanca is definitely a party character, but because of his level 2, you definitely gonna need some labbing, some understanding of the situation, realizing where the Blanca doll is at and how it's about to hit, when it's gonna hit. But besides that, you can easily annoy and just aggravate your opponent. So I don't want to put. He's definitely not easy, maybe, because I'm looking at Honda and I'm looking at Lily, but I'm trying to wonder why. Well, no, I know why because of the level 2. So it's like, okay, it makes sense. Normal, but has something polarizing sounds fitting, but I wouldn't disagree with him being in normal, but
Mhm.
level 2 could definitely be that uh, skill diff for Sholis.
Yeah, okay. So let's put him in normal that has something polarizing then, because he has some harder combos.
Um,
You want to do that?
oh, for sure. Yeah, because like I said, when I look at Lily and Honda, they don't have level twos. So something polarizing is very fitting for him to be in that category, in my opinion, unless you see something that might be a little bit different.
No, let's keep him there.
All right. All right. This next character. This is what I've been waiting on. This is what I've been waiting on.
Deejay.
Right
So
here.
what do you think about this guy? You know what? I know I stuck him in normal because we didn't have this category, which I think we need to change the title of.
Yes. All right. So, whew, I might be ready for these comments also, but I'm going to go ahead and just fire from the hip. DJ is a hybrid. So once again, if you're a new player and you don't like charging at first, he can be made challenging because I feel like a lot of people they tend to see a charge character and they kind of like don't know when to not charge, when to charge, especially in the corner with some routes where you have to dry rush forward, which results into you releasing your charge, going back to charge in order to catch that EX fireball. He could definitely have some challenging combos, but outside of that, the character is he's hurting. You know, my dude and got nerfed so many times. He ain't the same from season one. Capcom is slowly reverting him back to how he was. Like they didn't changed his DP, made it 1 frame faster, more reliable. It doesn't drop as often. Um, Sway, real amazing. I feel like he's going to be normal, but has something polarizing because the level 2 by itself, I feel like that rhythm dance sequence, it gets a lot of people hella confused. I actually had to make a video because so many people was asking me, how do I get the rhythm? I don't understand it. So DJ, normal, but has something polarizing.
All right, let's put him there. I'm cool with that. Then Manon, I don't think Manon is hard executionally in her game plan. She does have some hard stuff here and there, like how can I say, using her normals effectively. She doesn't have a reversal, so that's kind of tricky. She doesn't have like a true reversal. Her level 1 is 10 frames, it's slow, so she can be a little bit difficult to play on defense. But in terms of like overall game plan and overall execution, like unlike Jamie, her metal stocks, she just gets a buff when just a damage buff when it goes up. She doesn't really have to balance it. She's not really choosing different combo routes and giving up metal. She basically always gets medals off of her good combos, whether she ends in the spin or whether she ends in command grab. So she's not making any choices like Jamie or some of the other characters down here. So I think for normal, I'm okay with having her here.
Okay. For some reason, I was going to put her in hard, but that's just me firing from the hip because she lacks a lot of Street Fighter 6 features.
True.
No counts on low forward, no DP. So, yeah, that's my reason. But the way you explained it, she could be put in normal.
All right, so let's keep her in normal then.
Yeah.
Chat, if anybody in the comments disagrees, you can let us know. But I'm gonna keep her here. I did play Manon a little bit when the game first dropped, but I didn't find her difficult, so that's just me. But let's keep on going. Kimberly.
Whoo! Another party character.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of
character? Ooh. I mean,
she doesn't have a true reversal, like a meterless reversal. She doesn't have a DP. She can beat people in the air with her SPD, not SPD, with her Tatsu, but it's not invulnerable against grounded attacks. So she can't use it as a wake up. Right. So that makes it a little bit hard. I don't think her combos, like all the versions of her teleport, are the same. Whether you use light, medium, or heavy, they all do the same thing. Then she has that and OD. So you don't even need to separate which version of your special that you're doing. So that's pretty simple. They've buffed her run frame traps.
Yes.
So she has more options to go into run and frame trap your opponent. If this was last season or even season 1, I would put her into something like hard because it was much harder to actually frame trap your opponent. But now they gave her so many different ways to, get the party started with like standing hard punch run, standing medium punch run. I might be saying wrong normals off the top of my head, but she has more cancel options into run that can frame trap your opponent. She actually has real pressure now. Also her corner stuff is strong with the bomb, even like the double bomb setups. But what I will say with Kimberly, to be really good with this character, you have to learn setups in the corner.
Absolutely.
But I think you can play this character pretty effectively at a low beginner or like intermediate range just by constantly rushing down your opponent. And then for players who are like more experienced in fighting games, learning her corner like set play stuff with cans, I don't think it's difficult. It requires a little bit of homework on your end, but I don't think it's actually hard to do that. I think most people who like those kind of characters will think it's fun to practice. So I'm gonna put her in normal for me.
This is one character that I also cannot say too much on. Like looking at it from the opposite end and being on the receiving end, I just see her doing a bunch of overwhelming things. That's just trying to overload your opponent's mental and have them thinking about something that's happening but it's not happening. So yeah, party character if you ask me. Which difficulty? I wouldn't know where to put her.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it. If you don't know where to put it, I'm gonna just commit to the normal. And guys, in the comments, if you disagree, let us know. All right. So I think that cleared everybody. Now let's go to the hard tier. I think this hard tier is pretty self-explanatory. So for me, I broke this up into either very difficult combos or difficult to optimize the combo. So I feel like these characters are really hard even at top level, because you'll even see pro players going for the wrong combo, like they burnt themselves out when they didn't have to, or they could have gone for a more optimal, more damaging, or more meter like resourceful combo, but they didn't go for it either because they didn't have the situational awareness or because it was too difficult to do in the moment. So JP, I don't think there's much that has to be explained about this guy. He's got probably the most freeform combos in the game. There are so many different routes you can go with this guy, and it's difficult to know what's the best thing to do. So just for that alone, I'm going to put him in hard. I don't want to get too much into this character because I think we can talk about him for a long time. Same thing with Terry. His neutral game plan at intermediate-ish level is very simple. He seems like an easy character on paper, but then once you get to higher levels, I think he becomes harder to play, even though he's a very good character right now. You don't think so?
All right, so with me, he's another Shoto, and his combo routes, he's another freeform character where you could chain together the specials, and with him getting buffed, you actually have additional dry rush options that allow him to do heavy blast. So it's like his combo creativity could be challenging because, like you said with JP, you have to realize the situation, know if you want to do an optimal combo. You might do something that's subpar, but outside of combos, I mean, I feel like he's another party character. Like,
okay, so then let's take you know what, I can agree that his neutral is pretty easy to understand, especially now in season 3, because they buffed his standing hard punch. His round wave, the hard punch fireball, is much stronger now. It's a low compared to what it used to be before, which is like a regular fireball. So let's go here. Normal, but has something polarizing. It's hard to optimize his combos, but his neutral game plan is pretty simple. How do you feel about that? Or even normal?
oh wait, hold on. Okay, normal might be a stretch.
All right.
In my opinion.
So normal, but has something polarizing.
But I can understand why. Okay, looking at the combos, I can understand why he's in hard, because when it comes down to his specials, you can become what's the proper word out? You can become a party character with crack shoot, dash straight, but going too crazy, then you can put yourself in punishable situations if you don't space your dash straight right. So he's not completely safe with everything that he do. I'm trying to give Terry the benefit of the doubt, but he's really a party character. He's a party character.
Do you think that makes him easy just because he's party? Like when you say party, I'm guessing you're going to say he can skip neutral really easily.
Yeah, so basically when I say party, I'm mainly referring to Lily, Honda, Blanka, Terry, Marisa, kinda in a sense, but not. Marisa can party, but she can't fully party.
I get it.
She can party.
I think for me, when I think party, I just mean they have lots of like easy neutral skip options and ways. Like Terry not only has medium punch burn knuckle, but he also has the OD fireball, which we can walk behind. So I think he has some pretty strong neutral skips there, and that makes him party. But I think his DP kind of sucks though.
Really?
It's hard to use properly. A lot of the times you'll scoop underneath your opponent. It has like the light version barely goes forward, and you might have to choose the medium or heavy version in some situations, and it's really common to actually scoop under your opponent and get the wrong one. Like Ken doesn't have that issue, Ryu doesn't have that issue, you know.
I guess I never seen that situation happen where the DP actually whiffed unless I just managed to jump over the Terry and they didn't cross cut. But I don't think
Mm.
I've seen the
I've had it happen to
DP
me when I was
actually.
trying when he first came out and I was trying to learn this character. It had happened to me quite a few times.
You think they might have hot fixed it? Like, is it still happening until
I
today?
don't think so. I think you just basically have to always go for the light version, but the light version doesn't go very far. I don't know.
Right.
I think just for me, Terry, just the polarizing thing is being optimal with your combos in terms of drive meter usage. And I think that makes him
Absolutely.
harder than some of the other characters.
We could definitely put him back in hard for sure.
I don't know if I feel
I'm
comfortable
not
with
against
hard.
it.
Okay, I'm gonna say
No.
I'm okay with it here. Are you okay with him here, or do you want him in
Yeah, for
hard?
sure.
All right, let's keep him here then. I'm good with that. Then for me, for Aki and Chun-Li, I think both these characters are hard for similar reasons. I think Aki she's easier now because her medium punch whip is a better anti-air and stuff like that. She has neutral skip, OD fireball drive rush, but I think defense is really tricky with this character. And I think also drive meter management is really hard with this character. I think she's kind of like Mai, where players who aren't amazing will burn themselves out way too much because they're trying to rely on her really strong tools, which are the OD moves like Drive Rush, OD Fireball. But I think it can be hard to use her well against characters who can chip your drive gauge really quickly, like the Kens, the this guy, the name's the M.Bison, the Akumas, you know, the drive chip characters. I think that makes her really hard to play. So I'm gonna put her in the hard category for me.
Yeah, I can agree with this. Speaking on her defense, she doesn't have a DP. She also has a slide, which makes her a little bit more open to throws because, people do realize that she has the option to slide. So the throw factor is going to be a little bit more scary, which will probably force more random options off wake up, like encouraging you to want to jump, backdash, which will probably open you up for more damage. So Aiki definitely requires a lot of situational awareness, in my opinion, if you want to really make her work.
Mm-hmm.
Combos, I feel like, well, launch Aiki compared to now, she's definitely gotten stronger. So combos are more unique. Her defense requires more awareness, um, matchup knowledge. Yeah, she could definitely be put in hard. Same thing with Chun-Li.
Yeah. So for me, like moving on to the next characters, I'm gonna lump these three into the same category and the same reason why they're difficult. They have not the most. How can I say? They have some of the more difficult combos in this game, and they are hard to optimize. I know a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, Rashid, you guys level 2, just start the party," but like outside of level 2, knowing when to do, like, he has a lot of options, and knowing when to do which is difficult. Optimizing him can be difficult. Anti-airs can be difficult. Same thing with Ed. He has a DP, but it can be difficult to use. He has a lot of options. Trying to get max level 2 dream combos, really difficult. He's gotten some of the most significant nerfs in season 3. He's a lot weaker than he was
Yes.
before. Chun-Li,
Yes.
as good as she is, she's difficult to use. Although I would say modern Chun-Li is a bit easier, but you still need to learn stand stuff. So I just think these characters have a little bit more execution than the rest of the cast, and that's what makes them difficult. They all have something hard about them for level players of any level.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. And I tend to notice this also. A lot of new players, they easily gravitate towards the challenging characters. And every day, and I kid you not, every day,
Well, they're
it's
cool.
mainly with Ed too.
They're
Oh, for
cool.
sure, for sure. Cool. They flashy. Their default design is catchy. Like it's real easy for me to say, "Ooh, who that is?" They look nice. I want to try them out. But then they just so happen to be challenging. So for surely hard, hard, and hard. Ed, I can speak from experience. Like you said, the level 2 dream combo by itself is challenging. Uh, getting an understanding on his kill rush also,
Hmm.
because a lot of people, they also be like, how do I get late kill rush after standing affairs? Come to find out, they're actually doing a target combo and not linking it with standing medium into standing affairs late counts on the kill rush to get heavy blitz. So yeah, for surely.
Yeah,
And with the nerfs, didn't make it no better.
even harder, right? Exactly.
Even harder.
And then the last one we have is Sim. I think Sim is the most unique zoner. I don't play this character, and I know he got buffed in season 3, but for Dhalsim, I just think number one, again, I don't play him, so I don't know, but I just generally my idea, his damage output is low, so he needs to win more exchanges. Defense is really rough with this character, and I just don't think he uses the system very well, and I think that alone makes him hard. Also, his jump is incredibly floaty. You have to know how to use his float properly. He has a lot of different setups, so he has a lot of ways to get plus frames with stuff like slide and things like that, but you have to actually spend time to learn it. It's not like you throw, you forward dash, you're +3 in the corner kind of thing. You actually have to put in quite a bit of work with this character to get good results. So I think he is one of the harder characters in this game.
Absolutely. And that's another thing. I know most players, they tend to get annoyed fighting against him, but when you step into those shoes, you realize they're actually doing quite a lot.
Mm-hmm. They're
From
working much harder
fireballs
than
to
some of these other
exactly.
characters up here.
Delson might be working harder than every character on this list, and in my opinion, because Delson actually has to play the perfect keep away.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think he might be the hardest. Oh, also, this is super late, but this isn't ordered in terms of who's the hardest. Just we're just keeping them just general
Yeah,
in the tiers. But I think Dhalsim is probably the hardest character in the game for anybody, beginner, intermediate, advanced.
absolutely.
All right, so we got through it. We got through all the characters. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Always appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Helps us make more stuff like this in the future. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Stay safe.